'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode, Getting Well with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. 7 games to talk about today. Of course, we'll start by looking at what happened on Monday's show, and we'll jump right into that first. Taking a look at what happened on Monday, and this game was I loved cashing Jonathan Marchessault anytime goal. Vegas was up in this game, but unfortunately ended up losing it overtime on a Tyler Toffoli hat trick. So the game did not end how I wanted, but it did look good for the most part. Jonathan Marchessault kept up his goal scoring streak. In this one, Winnipeg Jets and Boston Bruins. I, for some reason, continue to fade Boston, which has been a mistake. And of course, Boston plays today. We'll discuss that game, and Winnipeg plays as well. So we'll be discussing that game in a bit. Sam Moneymaker Reinhart continues to score goals game after game after game. Roman Josi assist did not happen, unfortunately. Florida just played a great game defensively and were able to only allow 1 goal to the Predators in that one. So Josi did not get a point. Pittsburgh, Arizona. I passed in that game. Arizona ending Pittsburgh's long dominance against them. So it was a big win for the Arizona Coyotes. Elias Pettersson anytime goal. Sadly didn't cash. Canucks with a 2-0 win against Chicago, but Pettersson was not on the score sheet at all. And then fade LA. I should have faded LA because the Sharks with the 4-3 win and a shootout. And then after beating LA, the Sharks go and beat the Rangers last night. So, hey, the Sharks are moneymakers right now, even though I've not been making money off them. I hope other people have. We'll jump into the chats here. At Owen, all Canes tonight. I like our chances. I'll be discussing that game in a bit. What is going on in the NHL? Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Obviously, things have to be settled, but things are not looking good for 5 NHL players right now, all on leave of absences. The way things are looking, you may want to get Flyers to miss the playoffs. You may want to lock that in because it certainly looks like they may be without Carter Hart. I don't want to say much more, but it could be forever. So we'll see, obviously, what happens. But it's interesting. The NHL releases moments after it was announced that 5 players were being called into Canada to be, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but were told to surrender to the London police. The NHL announced moments later that Utah, the owners of the Utah Jazz, are trying to get an NHL team, which is a very interesting time to announce that right after some bombshell news that the NHL probably wants to keep quiet. So that was a very interesting timing, but wacky things are going on right now in the NHL. So I'll say that. Like the program, keep it rolling. Thanks for your deal. Appreciate it. Terrence, hello, Timothy. Why no show yesterday? I needed help making decisions. Yesterday's board was excellent. What I'm saying is I enjoy your show always. Thumbs up. Thank you, Tommy. And I decided not to do a show yesterday because I was only on 1 play. It was a good slate. Unfortunately, I a lot of my leans, I just kept it leans and I stayed off them. And there was 3 winning plays that I left off my sheet. So I guess it is what it is. Unfortunate, but and the one play I did put up on the site, Montreal Ottawa over, did not get there because unfortunately Montreal decided not to score. So that's what happens there. Good day, Terry. Hello, Captain Bry. Fire Don Granado. Yes, that should have been done weeks and weeks and weeks ago, but hey, it is what it is. Dylan Dubé, Alex Formanton, and Carter Hart are being questioned for serious allegations. Who is next from the 2018 juniors? Also, two Devils players, Michael McLeod and somebody else. But those guys are the 5 that are expected and being questioned. So we'll see what happens there. With the Wild being the 7th oldest team in the NHL, is it close to a rebuild in Minnesota? I wanted today's show not to be super long, so I'm going to be really, really, really quick with this one. Absolutely not. The Wild are not rebuilding. The Wild already have a extremely talented prospect system. They already have a few more. Like right now, the Wild have 2 Calder Trophy contenders fighting Bedard to win the Calder Trophy, and Brock Faber and Marco Rossi. That's just the tip of the iceberg. The Wild have a lot of players coming, and yeah, we'll discuss it more on tomorrow's show. But right now, the Wild are plus 475 to make the playoffs, and depending on how tomorrow's game against Nashville goes, I may be pulling the trigger on that. The Wild have the second easiest strength of schedule remaining, including 3 games against Anaheim, 3 games against San Jose, and 2 games against the Blackhawks. So I'm not giving up on this Wild team. Definitely not. Buffalo is so bad. Kings minus 1.5. Uh, we'll get to that game. We'll get to that game, but we'll get to it. Sabres money line. We'll talk about it. Sabres are so bad. We'll definitely talk about it. I just woke up in time. All right, all right. Only minus 1.5. What about minus 3.5? There you go. Kings minus 1.5. Veg Melka against the Cats. All right, all right. LOL, I'll sprinkle that. All right. Foot. Yes, Foot was the other guy. So he is being questioned. So we'll see how everything sorts itself out. I don't want to, obviously, you're innocent until proven guilty. So I don't want to say anything else. Leafs minus 1.5, Bruins minus 1.5, Caps, Avs draw, Sabres money line. I had Quacks last night, FYI. There you go. Oh, WTF, I thought you were going over the slate for tonight. Oops, I am. I am. We were just looking at the last show's slate. Now we will get into today's slate, starting with our first game here, which is between the Arizona Coyotes and the Florida Panthers. In this one, Arizona plus 180 to plus 204. Florida minus 218 to minus 225. Sixes right across the board in this one. Thanks to IceX for announcing that Vegemelka is confirmed, because that was not confirmed until 5 minutes ago. Bobrovsky confirmed for Florida. And Bobrovsky had a couple rough games there. I got the night off in the Panthers' last game. Vegemelka, 6-10-2, 3.32 goals against average, 895 save percentage. He has taken the back seat and been the second goalie with how well Ingram has played so far this year. Arizona 3-1-1 in their last 5. Florida 1-2-2 in their last 5. Florida trending towards the under. Arizona 4-3-1 to a total of 6. Florida winning 5 of the last 6 meetings. 4 of the last 6 games going under 5.5. And when it comes to this game, everyone knows what's happening here. Give me Sam Reinhart anytime goal plus 115. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to continue to bet Reinhart until he has like 2 or 3 games where he doesn't score. Until then, I will continue to bet this plus money prop that continues to cash game after game after game. So pretty easy cap here. When it comes to the side, I like Florida to win this game. I don't know if they win by 2. I don't know if they cover the puck line. So right now, I would use Florida as a money line parlay piece, but um, not pulling the trigger on the puck line in this game. Pechmelka, leading Panthers now, but pass. All right, all right. Dumba is week to week. Yeah, I heard upper body injury. So that's unfortunate for Arizona. Yeah, I wanted to take a side, but felt this game to be weird. Thank God I didn't take a side. There you go. And Robert agrees Panthers money line is a partly piece. That's the way I think the best way to go in this game would be that. We'll move on to the second game, which probably considered the game of the night. We have the Winnipeg Jets heading to Toronto to face the Leafs. Winnipeg plus 115 to plus 130. Toronto minus 140 to minus 142. Sixes. Bet 99 has a 6.5 in this game. Looking at starting goaltenders here, Laurent Brossoit will start for Winnipeg. 7-3-1 with a 2.18 goals against average, 923 save percentage. Played really well. But of course, he has a really good team in front of him, which has definitely helped. Ilya Samsonov had a good game in his last game. However, he's only faced 17 shots, stopping 16 of 17 against Seattle. Now he will have to face this Winnipeg team who did not look very good against Boston. Without Mark Scheifele and without Gabriel Velarde, they did not look good. And now they come here to face this Toronto team. Winnipeg 10-2 in their last 12, 0-5-1 to a total of 6. So really low scoring games for the Jets. Toronto 2-4-1 in their last 7. They're the opposite: 5 overs, 1 under, 2 pushes to a total of 6. Toronto 7-3 in the last 10. They've dominated the Jets over recent years. Ultimately, this game is a pass for me. I'll look at single plays, and I forgot to mention player props for the last game, which I'll get to here. Actually, we'll just quickly go back. So other than Reinhart, Clayton Keller has a point in 7 of his last 8 for Arizona. As I said, Reinhart, a goal in 9 of 10, 12 of his last 14 games. At least 3 shots on goal in 14 of his last 15. So Reinhart has been extremely consistent. Matthew Tkachuk has a point in 11 of his last 12 games. Going back to this one, Nikolai Ehlers has at least 3 shots on goal in 13 of his last 15 games. Mitch Marner, a point in 9 of his last 10. And Austin Matthews, a point in 4 straight games. Other than that, this one's tough. I don't want to be laying money with the Leafs with Samsonov. I don't really want to fade Winnipeg, but I don't really want to back them either. So this game is just a pass. I could see either side winning. Obviously, Winnipeg as a dog is very attractive, but could we see the Jets have a small losing streak here? It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. So we'll see what happens. Reinhart and Aho both over 2.5 shots in goal, parlay together plus 151 at DraftKings. I like that. I like that. Wrong team favorite, Jets plus 110 and over 6, fading Samsonov still. Hey, I can see that. I can. Even with injuries, you lean Jets plus 116. I do as well. I just can't really pull the trigger. It's on Nick. Leafs are sweeping the Jets. Over 6.5. Leafs money line, the Jets looked mid versus the Sens. It's Jets or pass, but pass. Velarde out or not healthy, no Scheifele. This is bigger than Connor, it appears so. However, they faced Boston, so that's tough. It all depends on 88 and 34. The line at minus 146 is a solid Toronto money line play. All right, all right. And a new commenter here, Juan, says draw in the Leafs game. I could see that. I could. This totally looks like a draw spot. between these two teams. So best of luck on that one. Go on to our next game here, which is potentially, if you don't want to call Winnipeg Toronto the game of the night, then I guess it would be this next one. But I'm just realizing now that StreamYard deleted the background, which they sometimes like to do. Thanks a lot, StreamYard. Let me get this. Stand by. I will have the background here in a second. But Carolina, plus 110 to plus 123. Boston, minus 135 everywhere. So books are agreement here. Sixes right across the board as well. So books are in agreement on this game. How have these teams played recently? Well, Carolina 3-2-1 in their last 6 games. 3 overs, 1 under, 1 game finished with 6 goals. Boston has won 5 games in a row. 3 of their last 5 games going over 6.5. Boston 5-3 in the last 8 meetings between the teams, winning the last 4 played in Boston. 2 of the last 3 games went to overtime. And when it comes to a total, 5 overs, 3 unders, 4 games finished with 6 goals. So the total's all over the place when these teams face each other. Who will be a net for this one? Well, currently, nobody confirmed. Let me refresh. Nobody confirmed. It's showing Spencer Mårten against Linus Ullmark projected here. And the way I look at this game, I've been losing money fading this Boston Bruins team. And looking at what they've done, their previous games here, their last 4 games, they've won by 3 or more goals. So they are not just beating teams, they are smashing teams. They faced Colorado and Winnipeg during that 5 game stretch, which they beat by 3 or more goals. So this Boston team playing really well. They've played well against Carolina at home in the past. Sorry, Robert, but I'm against you. Give me the Bruins on the money line and on the puck line, minus 1.5. Carolina has goaltending issues that they really need to deal with. And now no Andrei Svechnikov, which really hurts their offense. He is a very important piece. We saw it last year in the playoffs, and we've seen how well he has done lately. He's been one of their hottest players, other than Sebastian Aho. We saw what without him, the Hurricanes were struggling to score against Minnesota, and they dominated Minnesota, but they could not score on Philip Gustafson. Now they're going to come here to Boston. This Boston Bruins team is a wagon right now, and I'm done stepping in front of it. So give me the Bruins money line and puck line to win this game by multiple goals and take care of business here in this one. Let's see here. Player props. Recently, Sebastian Aho, as I said, a point in 10 of his last 12, at least 3 shots on goal in 5 straight games. Seth Jarvis has a point in 4 of his last 5 games. David Pastrnak, a point in 9 of his last 10. Charlie Coyle, a point in 5 straight games and 12 of his last 14. Brad Marchand, a point in 4 of his last 5. And Jake DeBrusk has a goal in 3 straight games for the Boston Bruins. I didn't pull the trigger on DeBrusk because I have enough money on the Bruins right there. So we'll stick with that here. Dun, 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 dun. Bruins minus 1.5. Me and Ice X agree. Wow. Never happens. And on your Bruins too, because you faded the Bruins a lot last year, but right now you're not, and you've been winning. So let's keep it going, Ice X. Bruins money line and over 6. Was going to say fading Ronta, but it looks like Spencer Mårten in net. Yeah, it hasn't really been confirmed, obviously, but Spencer Mårten did not do well either so far this year. Obviously, that was with Columbus's defense, but if he does start, this is a rough start for him because Boston has been scoring like crazy lately. Bruins, I like it. Canes money line. It's the Aho show tonight. He's going to have to because who else? Fun fact, Bruins own the Canes at Tea Garden. Yeah, they won the last 4. They won the last 4. To me, price looks short, -135. I'll take Bruins with Coil Point. I like it. I like it. Like Svechnikov will snipe the Bruins and lay Pasternak out. Well, it'll be hard for him to do that because he is not even in Boston. He is in Carolina. So laughing. Marchand will bite Aho, and that's totally true. He will definitely bite him. He probably will. Little rat. There you go. Spencer Martin isn't the answer to the. Of course not. Of course not. And I said that. Yeah, the Canes can't just go pick up loose scraps from other teams, especially Columbus, that's putting a goalie on waivers. Um, okay, yeah, take a chance on him to have his depth. But if that's the answer to your goaltending problems, then Carolina's gone in the first round once again. Another strong Boston money line at -146 to be determined if it holds 5 hours from now. Carolina will pepper Allmark with shots. Boston team total over 3. Also a good parlay piece. I'm with Boston money line versus Mårten. Yeah, Mårten, Ronta doesn't really matter to me right now. Stahl will put Marchand in the bench. We'll see. Interesting how Carolina Boston line is very similar to Winnipeg Toronto line, other than the totals. True, true. Marchand will dance around Old Stall. Old Stall. Very possible. Very possible. But we'll see what happens in this game. Moving along to our next one here, we've got the Washington Capitals against the Colorado Avalanche. Washington plus 200 to plus 227. Colorado -245 to -250. Sixes right across the board in this game. Looking at goaltenders here, Charlie Lindgren confirmed for Washington. Alexander Georgiev confirmed for Colorado. And I'd like to thank Washington for saving Lindgren for this game and putting Kemper in last night. Of course, Lindgren's been the better goalie for Washington this season. And we saw what happened to Kemper last night against the Wild. Looking at this game here, how these teams been playing recently. Washington 3-4 in their last 7, playing last night, coming off a loss. But the Capitals have been very good on back-to-backs this year and last year as well. So back-to-backs have not hurt this team, even though you would think Washington being an old team, that back-to-backs would hurt them. It really hasn't. They've gone under 5.5 in 5 of their last 7 games. Colorado 5-2 in their last 10. They've gone over 6.5 in 9 of their last 10 games. How do these teams play against each other? Well, Washington 12-4 in the last 16 games between the teams. Colorado has won the last 2. So as we do see Washington trending downwards, what has happened to Ovechkin? I could do a show just on that. Look at Ovechkin's numbers. If he's going to continue to try to catch Gretzky, it's going to be a rough time in Washington to watch that because he's lost it. He's lost it. Where was I? 4 of the last 5 games going under 5.5 between these teams. So we usually do see low scoring games between these teams. Ultimately, no single plays for me. Do I want to take the Avalanche on the puck line? Yes, I do. Do I want to take the over? Yes, I do. But Lindgren and the way Washington's played on the second night of back-to-backs and the way Washington's played against Colorado in the past all keeps me off this game when it comes to side or total. Looking at player props, TJ Oshie, 1.5 of his last 6 games for the Washington Capitals. Nathan McKinnon has a point in 11 straight games, and 30 of his last 31 games he has a point, which is absolutely insane. At least 4 shots on goal in 8 of his last 10 games. Mikko Rantanen has a point in 10 of his last 11. Makar has an assist in 8 of his last 10. And Devon Toews has a point in 4 straight games for the Colorado Avalanche. You could look at player props here. This should be a game that Colorado wins by margin, but I won't be pulling the trigger on it myself. Mrazek to Carolina before the deadline. Interesting, but after Chicago just re-signing Mrazek to 2-year deal, And if Carolina thinks Mrazek is the answer, oh my gosh, they need to figure it out. But Mrazek is not the answer either. Lean caps at the price, but pass. Okay, okay. Avs minus 1.5. Come on, Nate Dog. There we go. Elevation gets to the old caps tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Washington back to back versus Colorado after 3 days rest. Altitude, oxygen problems for older Washington players. Washington could bounce back, but not here. I see that. I see that. Ovechkin misses Backstrom. Maybe, but uh, he just his stats have fallen off a cliff. He can't score a goal to save his life, and he's not shooting the puck either. So I don't know how he really expects to score goals. Um, on the power play, he's passing to whoever. Uh, you're Alexander Ovechkin. Shoot the puck. Like it's that simple. Kucherov or McKinnon for Hart. Um, that's tough. I say McKinnon probably, as much as I'd rather not. But it is what it is. We'll move on to our next game here, which is between the St. Louis Blues and the Vancouver Canucks. St. Louis plus 185 to plus 214. Vancouver minus 225 to minus 240. Sixes and 6.5s. Most places have 6.5s. I see DraftKings does have a 6 if you're interested in the over. Who will be a net for this one? Let me refresh to see if we have any news when it comes to this game, and we do not. Yulhofer, most likely a net against Thatcher Demko, who's not confirmed, but most likely will be a net here. How these teams played recently. St. Louis, 2-2-1 in their last 5 games, obviously coming off comeback win against the Flames last night, and now traveling to Vancouver. Not a horribly long travel, but still travel on a back-to-back. 4, 1, and 2 to a total of 6. So we're seeing St. Louis start to go over more in recent games. Vancouver 8-0-1 in their last 9. They continue to play consistent hockey. 6 of their last 9 games going over 6.5. St. Louis 6-1-1 in the last 8 games between the teams. So they've had success against the Canucks recently. 2 overs, 5 under, 5 unders, 1 game finish with 6 goals for a total of 6. For me, Canucks puck line and Elias Pettersson anytime goal. Great price for Pettersson anytime goal. I think we see him bounce back after not scoring in his last game. And Vancouver Canucks, despite St. Louis playing really well against Vancouver, that one regulation loss was this year. The home team has won both games this year. Vancouver winning 5-0 against St. Louis earlier on in Vancouver. The Blues winning 2-1 in St. Louis. I like the Canucks here. Is it going to be 5-0? Probably not, but I think the Canucks win this game by margin, and I think we get Pettersson to find the back of the net once again in this game. The St. Louis teams and the Vancouver teams that have faced each other previously are different. St. Louis has been a much better team, and they're going downwards, while the Canucks have had some rough years, but are having their best year in a long time. So give me the Canucks on the puck line in this one. Back to the chat. St. Louis, Vancouver under 6.5. Line should be a 6. You sure love taking the Canucks under, Nick. I know, and I can see it. I can see it, but both games have gone under between these teams so far, so we'll see. But taking the Canucks under scares me. Jets money line. I changed my mind. Oh, there you go. Canucks minus 1.5. I hope they run it up on them. Sounds good to me. Canucks over 6. I could see that as well. I could. But we'll move on along to the next game here, which is between the Seattle Kraken and the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago plus 220 to plus 244. Seattle minus 260 to minus 290. 5.5s right across the board. And I just realized I forgot props, so we'll head back to this game. Player props for this one: Jordan Kyrou, 1.5 of his last 6. Braden Shen a point in 6 of his last 7. Elias Pettersson a goal in 7 of his last 9. JT Miller point in 7 of his last 9. And Quinn Hughes has a point in 4 straight games for the Canucks. Back to this game and how these teams been playing recently. Well, pretty similar actually. Chicago 2-5 in their last 7 games, going under 4.5 in 6 of their last 7. So we've seen lower scoring games for Chicago recently as their offense has dried up without Bedard. The Kraken have lost 4 games in a row after their really hot streak. They've gone ice cold, 3-3-1 to a total of 6. How these teams played against each other in the past? Well, Seattle 5-3 in all time against Chicago. In the last 5 meetings, all went over 6.5 between these teams. So we've seen higher scoring games when these teams do face each other, and that's over 6.5. We're seeing a 5.5 total here. But for me, this game's a pass. This game is a pass. The only player really playing well for either team right now is Jared McCann, who has a point in 5 of his last 6 games. But other than that, the Kraken have not looked good. They definitely miss. I'm blanking on his name right now. I can't believe, but they're missing their top defenseman, who is currently out. And then Chicago, not a team I want to back right now. Not a team I really want to back ever. But their top line has nothing. 0 points for all 3 players in their last 5 games. The Blackhawks just team looking to the future for sure. We'll jump into the chat. Lean under 5.5. Ooh, that's pretty tough. I unders are under 5.5 is tough for me to want to do in this day and age. Kraken puck line, I could see it, but major pass. Yeah, I agree. McCann on the front line over 2.5 shots on goal. Yeah, I could see that. Hawks lose today, then snap Edmonton's winning streak tomorrow. I don't know. Edmonton is trying to get to that all-time streak. They are trying to tie Pittsburgh at 17. We'll see if they can get there. I get it. I don't see the Hawks ending the streak. It's not like Edmonton's going to think, oh, it's the Hawks. If they weren't on this streak, like if they had lost their last game, or actually, not if they lost, but if they were on like a 2-game winning streak or something, but when you're trying to break NHL history, I don't see them losing to the Hawks. But hey, we'll see. Kraken kicked the shit out of them last time, 7-1. See if they can do it today. Under team total for Chicago, says one, under 2.5. I could see it. Seattle team total. I don't trust them, and the way Chicago games have been going, like really low scoring games. So I don't know. Game under, both teams not scoring. I agree. Ryan Donato, former team, Donato shots and goal prop over 1.5. Vince Dunn and Yanni Gore need to be in the lineup. Yeah, losing Vince Dunn is crippled the Seattle Kraken because obviously being a recent expansion team, they aren't full of depth. So really injuries really will hurt this team. Preds or Knights could ruin the Oilers streak coming up. Yeah, we'll have to see. As they get closer to 17, if they get closer to 17. But heading into our last game of the night, we've got the Buffalo Sabres plus 155 to plus 165, LA Kings minus 184 to minus 200, 6s and 6.5s available here in this game. I don't believe we'll have goalies here. Nope. Showing Cam Talbot against Devin Levi, both projected. How these teams been playing recently? Buffalo 5-4 in their last 9 games, coming off a embarrassing loss to the Ducks yesterday. 4 of their last 5 games have gone under 4.5. LA Kings 2-6-5 in their last 13 games. They've won 2 of their last 13 games and are in free fall mode. 3-2-1 to a total of 6, going to overtime in their last game. Buffalo 5-3 in the last 8 games between the teams. 1 over, 4 under. 1 game finished with 6 goals. Who's playing well right now? Nobody. Nobody for either team is playing well right now. Nobody's on any kind of streak, um, except losing streaks when it comes to this LA Kings team. I want to fade this LA Kings team every opportunity I can get. Obviously, they're a huge favorite in this one, but I just can't trust Buffalo. As much as I want to fade the Kings, I can't trust the Sabres team right now. Um, both of these teams, a lot of people were really high on. So, and I did think Buffalo was going to flirt with a playoff spot, but they are going backwards instead of forwards after a good year last year. And the LA Kings, um, everyone and their mother love this LA Kings team. I was not high on this LA Kings team, and I will not be surprised to see the Wild take their playoff spot. This Kings team, uh, they need to do something. They need to do something because standing pat's not working. They said they're not going to make a coaching change, but the Kings need to do something and quick because they are just a mess right now. Dun, 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 dun. Kraken aren't the same without Gore, Dunn, Beniers, and Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand's out too? Wow. I was not aware. But yeah, those are 4 incredibly important pieces for an expansion team. Kings puck line. All right. Easy pass. Can't trust LA Kings at -210, but the Sabres. Yeah. 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 Yuck. This game's a pass. Oh, it's Talgoat. Sabres are even more fucked. There you go, Tim. There you go. This is the perfect medicine for the Kings facing the Sabres. Maybe, maybe. Both teams sucks. Yes, I agree with that. Lean Sabres with the value. I agree with that too. I just can't trust them. Sabres on a back-to-back. No thank you. And Kings, no thank you. Exactly. Exactly. Bogus price for LA. I'm praying for Levi and a spot to finally jump on the Kings turnaround. This should be the turnaround spot, but something still isn't right here. Yeah, I agree. Kings are just better, maybe, but they're not playing like it. They're not playing like it. Kings will be more bet on after the All-Star break. Not if they stand pat and just continue to. They need to do something. A trade, coaching change, assistant coaching changes, something. They have to do something because standing pat's not working. Dubois sucks. I would hate to play. Yeah, he's awful. Everywhere he goes, he has issues. Byfield and Kempe have been consistent point earners, maybe, but not so much lately. This is a Buffalo money line spot to play a parlay with Colorado. All right, except not putting my money on Levi. I agree. I agree. But that is today's slate. I've given out all my plays in the NHL today. I don't have any NBA plays up on the site. I did lean with the Cavaliers. Cleveland has been a moneymaker, but new coach for Milwaukee, revenge spot after getting embarrassed, uh, ultimately kept me off. So just NHL plays today, which I've given out on the show. But we'll be back tomorrow for a Thursday slate. Huge game for the Wild tomorrow against Nashville. Very, very important game. So I'll be definitely looking forward to that. But that's today's slate. Kings need a team dinner and party hard and air out any grievances and let us see. Maybe. I don't know. But this team needs something. Something has to happen. But that's today's show. Best of luck to everyone in today's slate, and we will see you again tomorrow. Unless I only have one play. But no, we should be good for tomorrow. Best of luck, everyone.